What does it mean to be greylisted? Commentary. Papua New Guinea's placement on the grey list by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, signals that the country has strategic weaknesses in its systems to combat money laundering, terrorist financing and proliferation financing, but has formally committed to addressing them. The FATF is a global watchdog that sets international standards to prevent illicit financial flows. Its recommendations guide how countries strengthen anti-money laundering, AML, and counter-terrorism financing, CFT, frameworks to protect the integrity of the global financial system. Being greylisted does not mean PNG is blacklisted. Rather, it places the country under increased monitoring. It tells the international community that while deficiencies exist in laws, enforcement or supervision, the government has agreed to an action plan within a specified timeframe to correct those gaps. However, greylisting carries consequences. One immediate concern is tougher banking relationships. International banks are likely to apply enhanced scrutiny to transactions involving PNG. Some may reassess correspondent banking arrangements, while others may increase compliance requirements. The result can be slower international payments and more complex trade transactions. The cost of doing business may also rise. Foreign investors and companies could view PNG as a higher risk jurisdiction, triggering stricter due diligence processes and increased transaction costs. In competitive global markets, perception matters, and greylisting affects perception. There may also be implications for development financing. Multilateral institutions such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund typically encourage stronger financial governance frameworks. While they may continue supporting PNG, funding conditions and reform expectations could tighten. Beyond economics, there is a reputational impact. Greylisting can influence investor confidence, affect credit ratings and raise broader questions about governance and regulatory enforcement. Importantly, greylisting is not permanent. Countries that implement reforms, strengthen enforcement and meet FATF action plan requirements are removed from the list. Several nations have successfully exited greylisting after demonstrating compliance improvements. The economic question many Papua New Guineans are asking is whether greylisting will devalue the kina. The answer is not directly, but it can create pressure. Greylisting signals heightened financial risk. If investor confidence weakens, foreign capital inflows may slow. At the same time, demand for foreign currency, particularly the US dollar, could increase. In an environment where foreign exchange is already tight, this imbalance can place downward pressure on the kina. If international banks tighten relationships, foreign exchange inflows may reduce further, trade payments could slow, and businesses may find it more difficult to access overseas currency. PNG's existing foreign exchange shortages could feel additional strain. Higher compliance costs imposed by banks may also increase the cost of international transactions. Those costs can be passed on through higher import prices, contributing to inflation. In turn, purchasing power can be affected indirectly. If the kina weakens and imports prices rise, everyday goods such as fuel, rice, machinery and medicine may become more expensive. Consumers ultimately feel the pressure through higher living costs. That said, greylisting alone does not collapse a currency. The overall impact will depend on how quickly reforms are implemented, how investors respond, global commodity prices, particularly LNG, gold and oil, and broader economic management. In simple terms, greylisting is a global warning notice. PNG's financial crime controls require improvement, and the international community is watching closely. The situation is serious, but manageable, provided reforms are implemented swiftly and confidence is restored.